Well, sticking with the theme of budgets, have you given thought to the impact a budget can have on future generations? Do you talk to your children about money to better prepare them when they're making decisions? Well, my next guest is Gary Rabior, who is the national president for the Canadian Foundation for Economic Education, and he's here to share some great tips, tell us about their talk with our kids about Money Day, and we'll find out what came from his discussion with the Deputy Minister of Education. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start with the Canadian Foundation for Economic Education. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
We've been around since the mid-'70s. Actually, I've been with the foundation since the late '70s, so put in my time, you might say, but had a chance also to watch the evolution. Our organization is a not-for-profit, charitable, nonpartisan organization. We work to promote what we think are 4 pillars of helping young people to build a successful future, and that is helping them with their career development, helping them with financial education, economic education, and enterprise education, building a package of knowledge, skills, and attitudes and attributes that hopefully will prepare them for carving out a successful future in the years ahead. And so we work with the departments and ministries of education as we can help in terms of lending assistance on new curriculum development, because there's a lot of new curriculum happening across the country as provinces try to address what they see as an increasing priority for financial education. And then also helping with professional development of teachers, because it hasn't been an area in the curriculum for which they've been trained. Resources for teachers and students and whatever. So we try as best we can to support the provinces in their efforts to do more to prepare our kids for their financial futures through financial education.
So since 1974, you must have seen a big change when you look at today and how people, I guess, utilize a budget or how to best prepare when they think about their personal budgets.
Well, and it's interesting you say that because you mentioned the discussion we had with the Deputy Minister, I think, who quite astutely asked me about, what has changed from my beginning years and to now. And one of the things that we observed that was quite significant is back then, it was fairly straightforward, and you were trying to teach people about the practicalities of managing, making decisions about money. Right now, as exemplified by Alberta, they're actually including financial education under their health and well-being curriculum area, because what we've found is that financial matters in one's life have become more complicated, they've become more potentially stressful, and as people who had not been prepared in the past have had to live with decisions and the legacies of decisions that have added stress to households and to individuals and whatever, it really has evolved from a practical, knowledge-based subject into something that really affects people and families' well-being in general. And it factors in to relationships and marriages and stress and whatever, because there's so many factors acting on people to make decisions that maybe stretch them beyond their own comfort and levels. And one of the key things we advocate for in financial education for young people is to try and prepare them to contain themselves within their own set limits. Know what they're comfortable with. Don't let all the forces and pressures of extending yourself beyond that work on you so that you live a stress-filled life. A happy life will be one that you're in control. You've set the stages and whatever. So it's evolved from the nuts and bolts of practicality into actually, they're looking at physical health, mental health, and financial health as a package of things that go into a healthy life.
At what age do you think this should be introduced?
The youngest possible. What has evolved in financial education globally has been an understanding that it's much more than transferring knowledge and telling you what a budget is. It's actually getting you to budget. It's looking more at behavioral change. How do we get people to act? Because people have been telling people to budget for decades, and the reality is the minority of households still do. So simply telling people to budget and transferring knowledge doesn't manifest itself in behavior. And what we're really wanting is behavior to act in certain ways, do certain things, plan, stay in control. And if you wait until high school and later, those are already ingrained, and you're actually looking to modify behavior and change people from where they become. Whereas if we start young, you can actually do it as part of behavioral development, which is much easier, and get them acting in those ways so that it's something that they simply evolve to, and we don't have to take them and shake them and say, no, no. So.
There's a special day coming up, April 26th, a particular date, an event that you would like to promote.
Yes, actually, and it's one I have to give a call out to our partner Scotiabank, who's made it possible and enables us to provide it all for free and free resources. It's an effort to make a small ask of teachers and parents on a given day. Give us one day. And on that day, start a conversation with kids about money, either through a lesson in your class in any subject area, so that For example, on the website, there are lesson plans for teachers in all subject areas at grade 7, in every single subject area, to teach a lesson in your curriculum area, linked to your curriculum, about money. And on that day, give it a shot. See what it's like. Watch how engaged your kids are. Watch how meaningful it can be. Watch that it's not rocket science. This is something you can really get into. And we've found that teachers, over the 4 years we've done it, we now have about 5,000 schools participating. Teachers love it, and they see that this is something that's really practical for my kids. And on the site, there are resources for parents with kids from ages 5 to 18. And we don't put them as teacher, we put them as parent. Go and have a fun experience, have a laugh, watch this TV show, watch a movie, read this book. It sets the stage for doing that. And so we just want to get it started, because once it starts, you never know where it ends from there.
We have all the information up on our screen right now in terms of the website and where people can go. But just quickly, we have to wrap things up. But the actual conversation you had with the Deputy Minister, what are you looking at doing here in Newfoundland and Labrador?
We're awaiting the results of the task force on education that's in preparation right now, to see to what degree there might be direction of learning in this area. And if so, follow up with discussions with the department to see and offer our services, because we look to get support for our efforts so we can do it at no cost to the province. We come here to try and help them, knowing that resources are scarce. And so,
it was well received?
The conversation we had was a very fruitful one, and I would say that we're encouraged. We know that there's lots of people looking for them to do lots of things. We hope this is one they decide to do, and we'll be delighted if they do. So.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have to take a very short break, but we'll be right back. Lots more to come here tonight on Out of the Fog.